What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Laurie. If you are new here, I am a family nurse practitioner, and in today's video we are going to be talking all things bedside nursing. So I think maybe last month I wrote a blog post about why are nurses quitting the bedside, and in that blog post I list 5 reasons that I believe that nurses quit the bedside. I will talk about them in this video. And when I decided to become a nurse, that was my be all end all. Honestly, it was. I wanted to become a nurse, and I just wanted to become a nurse and work as a nurse at the bedside. But nursing has so many layers. There's so many things you can branch out and do if you don't like bedside nursing. I know a lot of nurses who truly enjoy working at the bedside. I liked working the bedside as well, but there was just some things that I just couldn't deal with, and I wanted to move away from that. So let's talk about my 5 reasons why nurses are quitting the bedside, and let's discuss this a little bit. So the first reasons why I do believe that nurses are quitting the bedside is definitely the nurse-patient ratio. The nurse-patient ratio is something that varies depending on where you work, and a lot of times if you go into nursing and you're trying to find a job, a lot of new nurses kind of just take a job where they get a job, because some people truly believe that it's so easy to find a job as a nurse because there's so much shortage of nurses, but that's really not the case. A lot of new nurses end up working med-surg, nursing homes. Nothing is wrong with that. I'm just letting you know that this is the case for a lot of newer nurses. A lot of newer nurses don't get the opportunity to kind of work in the critical care areas where the nurse-patient ratio is lower, like an ICU, where your nurse-patient ratio can be 1-to-1, 1 nurse, 1 patient, or 2-to-1, 2 patient, 1 nurse. And these have to do with the acuity of the patient. Don't get me wrong, you're in the ICU and you have only 1 patient. A lot of the times that patient is a lot of work, like a lot is going on. The patient is on 6 drips, 5 drips. There's just a lot going on with that patient, and you have to focus on that one solid patient. But let's not lie, I worked the ICU, and I had days when I was in the ICU and I had 1 patient and I was like, really? And I've had days where I had 2 patients and I was pulling my hair out, like I should not have these 2 patients, but we just didn't have the manpower. A lot of nurses end up working med-surg, and then when you go to med-surg and some of these units and you are faced with 5 patients, 6 patients, and it's just a lot for them, and they're like, what in the world? What is this? So the nurse-patient ratio is something that nurses really truly just cannot deal with. It's too much. And if you work like LTACs or nursing home setting, I never worked a nursing home as a nurse, but when I became a nurse practitioner and I started going to the nursing homes, and I'm thinking to myself, how many patients do you have? And the increased nurse-patient ratio leads me to number 2, burnout. When I tell you nurse burnout is a thing, it is a serious problem where nurses are finding that the stress of them having so many patients and they don't have enough resources to help them doing all these duties and the different things that they're supposed to be doing, it leads them to being totally burnout. And then some nurses really start hating the profession, not really hating the act of nursing, they hate the whole idea surrounding it, because I honestly think that nowadays it's almost like nursing is moving away from really patient-centered care with some of the things that they're like throwing on nurses to do. I'm not complaining in this video or telling you guys that you shouldn't become a nurse, because nursing is a great career, but there is some areas that we really need to work on. The powers that be, whoever those are, it is really pushing our nurses, our great nurses, away from caring for patients at the bedside level, which we do need awesome nurses at the bedside. Like, I believe that I was an awesome, great nurse at the bedside, and some of these things just really put a bad taste in my mouth and just let me say, I'm not gonna deal with this no longer. The sheer feeling of just unappreciated from patients, sometimes family members, heck, even from the supervisors. Half of them don't give 2-ish about what's going on with you. Like, they'll tell you to come to work sick and tired. I had personal experience with this where I remember my son was sick at the age of like 2 or 2.5, and he was in an ICU at the Children's Hospital, and my manager knew about it and she was like, fine, take care of what you have to take care of. The director of critical care, after after 5 days, called me to ask me, when are you going to come back to work? And when I reached out to my manager said, I already told her what was going on with you, so I'm not sure why she called you. So here I am with a sick 2.5-year-old, and I am at his bedside, but you want me to leave to care for somebody else's loved one when I have a sick child in another hospital laying in a bed. I had to tell her 2 words. I was like, this is gonna be the end of me because they're gonna fire me. Because when I was done telling her about our parts, this is another big reason why some nurses are just saying, this is so absolutely ridiculous. Like, why is it that you guys put so much pressure on us nurses to give, especially when they are short staffed and they want you to pick up these ton loads of overtime. Also, unappreciated, and also nurse bullying. Nurse bullying is still a thing. You can believe it if you want, don't believe it if you don't want, but nursing bullying is still a thing. Number 4, and I know people tell us all the time that we complain a lot and nurses actually make a lot of money, but the pay. So pay / higher education, because when you get a higher education, you end up making more pay. The pay is one of the reasons why nurses are saying, you know what, I am going to quit this bedside nursing because I don't think that I am being compensated enough for me to continue to do what I'm doing. And I'm going to give you guys an example. Brand new nurse in Michigan, they make less money than a auto plant worker with no college degree. I'm not saying they shouldn't make good money, but I'm just saying they make less or the same amount of money. And when you think about it, when a nurse go to a university for 4 years, some of these nurses incurring student loan debt. And then, like I said, higher education, they just feel like, okay, if I go and get a higher education, like if I go ahead and get a master's degree, become a nurse practitioner, CRNA or something, I will definitely be doubling or tripling my salary. Number 5 reason is definitely the physical demands of the job. This is one of my big reasons as well to quit the bedside. Physical demand of nursing is a thing. I told you guys in one of my videos that, listen, the physical demands of nursing is crazy. If you're a nurse and you have someone working on your nursing unit for like 30 years, just look how they're moving a lot of the times. Like the physical ailment that is going on from the sheer of just standing, walking, pushing, pulling and shoving patient, it shows. I'm just gonna say that it definitely shows. So this is another reason why I do believe that nurses are just saying, you know what, I don't see myself doing this when I'm 60. I just can't do it. I'm just not gonna stay in this to end up what way. Those are my 5 reasons why I really think that nurses are quitting the bedside. If you work the bedside, let me know in the comments. Just give me one reason why you quit the bedside. And if you are trying to get into nursing, this video is not to deter you from becoming a nurse. It's funny because back in the days, nurses would be working the bedside for years, like 12 years, 10 years. Some of those nursing units, you couldn't even find a job because the nurses were not quitting. They would have to retire out. Nowadays, nurses literally go to a unit and start working, and after 6 months you're like, I'm burnt out, I'm done, I'm over this, I'm looking to go back to school, or I'm looking to do something else because this is just not it. Nursing is one of those professions that we need nurses. It's not like we don't need nurses, because I don't think nursing is a job that you can outsource. Do we need a robot to come take care of us? No, I don't think that's going to be a thing. That is it for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll definitely catch you guys up on my next one. Bye guys.